Hello and welcome to another edition of Pendragon Poetry. Sorry about the wind, but I'm up a right big hill. Well, I'm going up an hill anyway. I'm currently on the Isle of Arran. Look at that. I'm going up that today. There's Goldfell. That's the Holy Isle in the distance. Mull of Kintyre. Now I've been living up here for over 2 years now. Nearly 2 years. Where I have been composing the Conchordia Folio like a motherfucker. And it's almost finished, so what I'm going to do is talk about what the final form is going to be about. So, this is the 400th anniversary year of Shakespeare's first folio. Now he did 36, and my initial idea was to do 36, like I'll do what Shakespeare did, but I thought no, I'm going to do 24 and be different. So I'm doing 24. Now, at the moment I've got about 20 finished, so I've got 4 more to do. Now we'll come to those in a minute. So a quarter of the Conchordia Folio is just, well, first of all, Conchordia means with chords and also like harmony as well. It's also like flight of the Conchords as well, because they sang, danced, acted, all that shit. So lithology is my sextet, sexology, let's say, I quite like that word, sexiology. 6 concords, just normal conversation, not dialogue, and like banging tunes. Now in the middle, at the moment, I'm just composing the 6th one, called Squidgy Black, which brings all the characters together on a trip to Magaluf, where I've just been with my dad and my sister. Thanks Pops, he paid for it. He's like, it's not bloody Benidorm, but that's in the script. And then they found some Squidgy Black, and I wrote the theme tune to it yesterday down in Glen Rosa when I'm camping. It was like, Squidgy Black's back, proper tune like. So there's Squidgy Black. Now that's a quarter. Then I've got 2 trilogies. I've got Manchester, and I've got Gods of the Ring. Now Gods of the Ring, I've done part 1 and part 2, which takes the story up to the Sunshine Showdown. And I'm about a third to a half of the way through Rumble in the Jungle, Thriller in the Manila part. But that's almost done. I've just got to do that. Manchester, I've done part 1, and I've done the Rock and Roll Apocalypse, which is turning out to be a dream by Sean Ryder when off his head. And then I've got to do the 3rd part of Manchester, which unfortunately is on. How much time battery have I got? Yeah, just. Unfortunately, it's on my old Apple Mac computer, which is like broken down, packed in. So I need to get the file off the hard drive for that some point this summer. Now there's a place in on the mainland near Ardross and in Saltcoats that we might be able to do it. So we'll see. I've just got to get that to the on a boat. So that takes us to half. Now what makes those 2, Manchester and Gods of the Ring, is they are written in blank verse, iambic blank verse, iambic pentameter, Shakespearean. You know, I've got like Sean Ryder talking about stuff, Bez, in iambic pentameter. It's quite cool. Muhammad Ali, you know, Don King, who's a poet himself. The only difference is Rock and Roll Apocalypse, that's more of a rock opera. Anyway, so that's half of the Conchordia Folio. Now the other half is divided into 3 sections. Now the first section is historic. They're all historical, more or less, except the lithology. Well, it's kind of contemporary history, but the first ones are pure iambic pentameter, blank verse. And then, so that's Viriathus, Roman, the Lusitanian general one. There is the Atahualpa, which I've composed like over the autumn. That's so good, like the Last Thinking King, and some proper tunes in that. I quite like that one. And then you've got Malmaison and Flight of the White Eagles. Now interestingly, I'm actually adding 3 more scenes to Malmaison. That was the first of this second wave of stuff I was doing. So much more pathos to that. Josephine getting to see the King of Rome, and the tunes in there. You know, such a lovely set of tunes in Malmaison. There's 7 of them in the end. And Flight of the White Eagles, it's like my Hamlet, it's huge. I'm not adding any more scenes, but I'm adding a few. I've got like this book on the 1812 March, both sides, and I'm starting to sort of raid it for a few extra bits of conversation. So that's that one. But that's that segment. Now the other segment is my chaunt, I call it like Concord Royale or something, because it uses the chaunt royale, which is the French troubadour poetic form, 55 lines, but I've chopped it down to 50 lines plus the l'envoi. And I've used that for Charlie, but that's got a bit of dialogue mixed in with that one, as does the Siege of Gozo. That's just chaunt royale. Then I've got the other one is Stars and Stripes, which has a mixture of songs and a little bit of dialogue in Stars and Stripes. That's sort of like, I kind of envision American children doing it at school or something, or it's just sort of like History of America, but all the national anthems are in it in that one. That's quite cool, that. And then Samothracian Mysteries. Oh my God, I'm actually composing that today. Unfortunately, the poetry's in the book, which is tilting the camera. And Samothracian Mysteries. Now, when I was finishing Axis and Allies in Samothraki 3 years ago now, and probably I did something like this. No, I did that in Gozo actually. Update. Anyway, I recreated the Samothracian Mysteries in sonnet form. Oh, I remember now. I did this talk in the temple of the Sanctuary of the Great Gods. I remember, topless. I remember now. Anyway, so I ended up recreating the Samothracian Mysteries as sonnets, 14 sonnets. Now in dialogue. But what I'm doing now is adding 3 chaunt royales before, 3 chaunt royales after, telling the story of how Olympia met Philip II, King of Macedon, whose son was Alexander the Great, and they met at the Samothracian Mysteries. I'm like, oh my God, that's a proper banging story. That's definitely got to be a Concord. Now, there's no music in that as such. I haven't written any songs to it, because you've got, in the sonnet section, you've got all these like trumpets and bells and drums and stuff. So that could be the music, but I might have to end up writing a couple of tunes for that. I haven't figured out if I have to or not yet. So that's something I'm up to now. And the other one is, the other set is it's just normal speech, like the lithology stuff. So these are histories, just using normal speech. Now of those, you've got In a Man's Garden, which is my Robert Louis Stevenson sort of old man in his 30s in south of France, man as a kid in Edinburgh story, telling the story about how he wrote the Charles Gardiner verses poems. Then you've got Gaston Dominici, which I did this speech about this when I was in Provence. Yeah, that's it. And Gaston Dominici, I did one of these then, and I've written about a third of that. I did that in January, February, until I sort of ran out of energy. At the same time, I was doing Bella and the Brownies, which is the one that I finished in that period, and that's like my children's one, with Midsummer Night's Dream vibes. And then what's the fourth one? I can't even remember. Bella, but Gaston Dominici, In a Man's Garden, and I can't remember what the other one is. Just give me a second while we admire the view. It's the last one of the set. I think it's really early in the. Anyway, whatever it is banging. So there you go. That's my Conchordia Folio and I should be finishing it like in September, because I'm going to go back to Burnley for a bit, look after my dad. He's had a stroke, so I'm going to go back to Burnley. I'll leave the Arran with 23 finished Concords and 150 tunes, roughly. Finished, 150 songs, man. 24 players, mental. And with one last one to do. And I'll probably, then I'll be going maybe through a big read through. And on December the 5th, 1623, 400 years ago, December 5th, 1623, is the first recorded notice of a sale of a copy of the first folio by Shakespeare. Now in my head, I need to have it finished by then. And then, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to just record all 150 tunes and release them at once, because no one's ever done it like that. They're like, most people release a song here and there, or an album. Sometimes they release a double album, like a concept album. I'm going to release 150 banging tunes, man. It's going to be very cool. all under the umbrella term of the Conchordia Folio. So watch this space.